This is AT, and these here are Paul Anderson and Mariusz Pudzianowski. During their respective eras, they were freakishly strong men. Anderson, active during the pre-Diana Ball period, set records in the Olympic-style lifts, and he beat most other strongmen in what later became known as the power lifts. We're talking about bench press, squat, and deadlift. He was also great at the odd lifts. Pudzianowski, competing at a later time when anabolics appear to be more the rule than the exception, won a record 5 World's Strongest Man titles. Both Anderson and Pudzianowski entered the fighting ring as heavyweights, Anderson as a boxer and Pudzianowski in the mixed martial arts. Now these two men, Jess Willard, the Potawatomi Giant, and Primo Carnera, the Amboline Alp, held the heavyweight boxing title, Willard between 1915 and 1919, and Carnera between 1933 and 34, and both demonstrated prodigious strength for fighters. Willard weighed around 240 pounds. I'll put the kilos on the video. And he stood at nearly 6 feet 6.5 inches. He displayed both stamina and a strong punch. Willard's KO killed a fighter once, Bull Young. And keep in mind that Willard did not begin boxing until he was age 28. And at age 34, when many fighters retire, he knocked out heavyweight champion Jack Johnson. Primo Carnera stood 6 feet 6 inches, and he weighed in about 265 pounds. He had a reach of 85 inches. That's longer than even Sonny Liston's reputed 84. Later, after losing the title to Max Baer, Carnera made it big in pro wrestling and later acting. He began in 1933 with the Prize Fighter and the Lady, also in the movie Walter Houston, Myrna Loy, and even Jack Dempsey, all things you don't care about. He finished acting in 1959 playing Anteo, or Antoneus, depending on who you read, in the movie Hercules Unchained, which starred physique star Steve Reeves. So we have two of the strongest men in recorded history, Paul Anderson and Mariusz Pudzianowski, who had post-strength pro fights. And then we have two champion boxers, Willard and Carnera, known for being scary strong for fighters, and they displayed it before and after their boxing careers. E.T. knows that other strong fighters could be added to the list: Jim Jeffries, the Bear brothers, Max and Buddy, Sonny Liston, George Foreman, the list goes on, Tyson Fury for sure. But for the sake of illustration, let's keep the list short. Here, E.T. must emphasize, don't confuse strength with power. Power brings speed into the equation. Example, Mike Tyson had lightning-quick speed and also plenty of strength behind that fast punch. So his punch was extremely powerful, while George Foreman's very slow punches had a whole lot of weight and strength behind it, and that compensated for his lack of speed. E.T.'s thesis here is this: strength can be, in some instances, advantageous for fighters, but strength alone often comes with liabilities. Example, excess body weight, those big muscles that drain energy quick, that can limit flexibility and mobility, and that will never fully offset advantages their opponents might have in fighting skills, endurance, and so on. Paul Anderson, after unfairly being denied amateur status, took to pro boxing in 1960. Anderson weighed roughly 350 pounds at only 5 feet 9 inches tall, and he had 4 bouts, all against boxers with no or losing records. Nonetheless, Paul Anderson lost 2 of those bouts and in one he was knocked out. Budzianowski, unlike Anderson, displayed far more endurance and had fighting experience, but he was very unflexible, and that's very disadvantageous for anybody fighting in MMA. And that lack of flexibility caused one of his more painful losses. Budzianowski carried less weight as a fighter than he did as a strongman. His 260 pounds for MMA was roughly 53 pounds less than his strongman days. But his fighting record was less than impressive. 13 wins out of 21 battles, although the caliber of his opposition was much higher than that Anderson faced. Of the two large and strong regular boxers, Willard and Carnera, both lacked flexibility, maneuverability, and speed, but each had enough overall strength and weight, and punching strength, not power, to win a title. Although I should add here that organized crime is reputed to be at least partially responsible for some of Carnera's victories. But both Carnera and Willard before him fell in brutal fashion to more powerful, more flexible, much lighter, and faster but less strong opponents. Willard lost his ground to Jack Dempsey, who weighed at the time only 187 pounds, against Willard's 245 pounds. Yet Dempsey brutalized the bigger, stronger man. He knocked Willard down 7 times in the first round, is reputed to have knocked out many of his teeth and broken bones in his face. He continued the beating until Willard's corner called it quits in round 3. So Willard, who outmuscled Jack Johnson in 1915, could not, despite his massive size and Herculean strength, land an effective blow against Jack Dempsey, who for 6 minutes used the big man as a living heavy bag. Primo Carnera, with similar advantages as Willard, lost pretty much in the same fashion to Max Baer, who, depending on whom you read, beat Carnera to the ring apron 11 or 12 times before Carnera was counted out in round 11. The point to all of this is the following. Strength, unless it is accompanied by coordinated speed, which translates into power, ranks far behind agility, coordination, maneuverability, experience, and speed. And it can, if it drains too much of a fighter's stamina, prove to be a detriment, as it did for Paul Anderson. But strength for a fighter such as Sonny Liston or George Foreman, with enough speed, enough stamina, good training, and ring smarts, can carry that fighter to the top. And it keeps him there because of all the physical attributes necessary to be a good fighter. Strength is the last to fade for athletes. In fact, for any of us. Well, what do you think? Is E.T. spot on with this analysis or not? Put your thoughts below in the comment section. And this, by the way, will cause these videos to be made more available to other viewers. And you see the little bell icon? That'll notify you when you tap it when another video is available. And you see the like button, the thumbs up? Hit that too. This is E.T. Thank you for watching.